This episode of Speakers of Heidelin is made possible by our generous patrons. Special thanks to our supreme and master speakers, Omeji Cat Comet, Erisu Yamakawa, Alex Franco AV, Winebow Brood, Aurora White, Psyche, Asuta Starbreeze, Cletus Oreo, Nina Grimstarter, Lily Black, Bob Cece, Mictor Rabentau, Anathus Moonscar, Pamela Isley, Alenriel Maximus, Codrith Novelist, Mira, Celesto Notrell, Lazy Boy, Luke Osborne, Pandaloo Stormarrow, Tex, Kylin, Arthur Law, Beridan Derard, Cypup, Spencer Christmas, Celine DeLune, Edwin, Wibsterwolf, Severa, Circa Barrakiel, Kazran, Ventos Tia, Ryark Forbear, Leighton the House, Tony, Arcadia Lunashine, Framboise Zaccaro, Bergie, Fudge, Zephiel Cafe, and Gregorium Cartus. Get early access to audio and video versions of the show, including the post-show, by supporting us at patreon.com/SpeakersXIV. Thank you. Good evening, Aursians. Welcome to Speakers of Heidelin, episode 428. I am Lakeel Brayston, and I'm joined today by Georgi Wiston, Mail of Anadar, and not Rollo Destiny. It's so good. It's so grim, but it's black and white.
We'll never forget you.
Rollo,
Sad to say,
has not been able to
Rollo
finish the MSQ in time. Okay, that's why he's not here today. So
hit by a car.
Jesus Christ, Mela. He is fine. He is fine.
Leave it in.
Why'd you make him black and white? Why'd you have to make it as
That's new.
Because we did that to you. We did that to you when you weren't here. So I thought it'd be funny if I did it again. Yes.
2024 on it as well. 19.
Yeah. What if we?
1994 to 2024.
Yeah.
Oh, how sad.
What if we just give him a little bit of color? See, like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
That's better.
It's not.
Better.
Yeah. Okay. Welcome to the 428th episode of Speakers of Heidelin. 428. It is November the 16th, 2024. And today, we're going to do a spoiler cast episode. We're going to talk about the MSQ today. But before we get to the MSQ, there is so much else that we have to talk about. There's a lot that's happened. So prepare for that. Stay tuned also for MogMail. We'll be reading one MogMail today because we have so much to do. But I did promise we were going to read at least one MogMail, and that is what we will do. Also, stay tuned for the post-show. We'll be answering questions from the Syndicate. And I don't think there will be much time. I have a sneaking suspicion.
We're not going to do the Titanic thing without Rollo.
Yeah,
anyway.
No. That's true. But that's actually pretty good because I don't. What would we fill? We have to eat into the post show.
So we can sing.
We have nothing. We can sing. We can sing. Okay, there you go. I love that. This is a very speakers thing. Just a little look into the behind the scenes. It is now November 16th, and under channel updates, it still says daylight savings. A reminder to talk to you about daylight savings. I'm going to remove it now.
I noticed that, and I wanted to bring attention to it, but I chose not to. But you did it. So.
Yeah, I've seen it several weeks, and I'm like, God, I have to remove it. Okay. Anyways, that's how the cookie crumbles. Let's get into recent events. Okay, recent events. Patch 7.1 happened. That's a big event that happened recently, but boy, did it come with some problems, and a lot of them. Strange ones, too. So we're going to go through all of that. Let's start with the first instance of acknowledgement of issues. This is from the November 12th post on the Lodestone. Known issues after patch 7.1. We have identified the issues below. Those issues are currently being investigated and addressed, and we ask for your understanding and patience during this process. So here is the issue. Unable to fish in Eastern Thanalan. And animation of a character walking on water is not displayed properly in Eastern Thanalan. I am assuming in water and not
walking on
Jesus
water.
walking. It is it is highly possible
Well,
that
there aren't any swimming points in Eastern Thanalan, are there? So it'll just be in rivers. And
No.
stuff.
but when you
But
when
they
you
could add
walk
one.
when you walk into a puddle that's less than ankle deep, do you say I'm walking on water?
No. But
Right.
I guess
No.
it's because it's a walking animation rather than a swimming animation. Maybe.
Yes. Yeah. Well, would you say when you're swimming,
I
I'm
don't
walking in the water? I'm out here walking. I'm out here
You
walking.
can walk in water, but
I
it's
think
very
you call
slow.
that isn't that wading?
Wading.
Like,
You're right, yeah.
Yes.
It is highly possible that the issues are related to updating the graphics data, and we are investigating the cause. We will provide an update as soon as there is any progress on the situation, so please wait a little longer. We apologize for the inconvenience. That sounds like a pretty significant issue. The first one specifically, unable to fish in just all of Eastern Thanalan.
I think something big's happening in Eastern Thanalan.
Something
No,
big
I
is
don't
afoot.
think so. I think it would be hilarious, but it wasn't the case if there was like a once in a month big fish that was available during this window and people couldn't get it.
Oh, no, that would be sad.
Yeah.
Guys, Eastern Thanalan is the zone where Beastmaster will unlock.
Yeah.
They've been testing it, and that's why you can't fish.
Right. That would black and white moment. Known issues following the release of patch 7.1. So this is the follow-up, the same day. We currently have an update regarding the following water-related issues that were brought to our attention. The inability to fish in Eastern Thanalan and characters walking animation above water not being properly displayed in Eastern Thanalan. They rephrased that.
It's not. It's not on water anymore.
No. From our investigation in patch 7.1, we were able to confirm that when the graphics data for the water surface area of East Thanalan was modified, the collision detection was not properly calibrated. As a result of this, any actions related to water, fishing, walking, etc., will not be processed correctly. As this issue involves remodification of the graphics data, this will be fixed in patch 7.11. We apologize for the inconvenience this has caused and appreciate your patience. So I hope you weren't like...
I literally was just
working on
start fishing in Eastern Thanalan for the next like 2
That's
weeks.
all you have left in your fishing log is to get the fish in Eastern Thanalan.
I mean,
That's a really big
is-
issue, though.
Yeah.
It is an issue. No, that's east, not west. I was confusing the two.
Yeah, so there you go. That's crazy. So currently, at the time of this episode, impossible to fish in Eastern Thanalan. So, sorry guys. But there's more. Known issues following the release of patch 7.1, November 13th. We have identified the issues listed below. The issues are being investigated and addressed, and additional information will follow as the situation develops. So here are the new issues. The Perfectio Reaper PvP action disables effects from the following PvP actions. The Undead Redemption effect of the Eventide Dark Knight PvP action, the Hallowed Ground effect of the Phalanx Paladin PvP action, and the Misotes effect of the Misotes Sage PvP action.
You could fucking
I
kidding
assume
me.
this makes you not invincible, which
You
is
just
not.
delete my hallowed ground?
Yep. Yep.
Thank God I don't play Paladin, and that's a massive issue.
Yeah. In consideration of the impact of these issues, we have first addressed the hotfixes indicated on each instanced area, and fixes were reflected in all instanced areas on November 14th at 6:06 p.m. GMT, November 15th at 5:06 p.m. Australian Eastern Time. As a result, the issue in Wolf's Den Pier will continue to occur, but we plan to address the issue in patch 7.11 as an overall maintenance will be required. So they've done like a band-aid, I guess, on this content that matters.
So if you want to play around with this glitch, you can still do it in Wolves Den Pier, where there has no like game impact.
Do a
to
duel.
It.
You can do like a duel
Yeah.
with someone and exploit
That's true.
the issue.
That's good of them, at least. They were quick on that.
Yes, they were. For private chambers in free company estates, the maximum number of items that can be stored in the storeroom is incorrectly displayed. This is only a display issue, and you cannot store more than 100 items. But I read this, and I'm like, oh, did they accidentally like push like a part of a storage increase? I think that's what that was. Rewards from weekly objectives, mini-mog challenges, and ultimog challenges cannot be received from the Mogpendium. This issue will be addressed in patch 7.11, and the rewards can be received from patch 7.11 to patch 7.15.
That makes sense, because the Mogpendium gets updated by the time of the next Moogle Tombstone event, so that will be when you can't receive them anymore.
It is not possible to exchange more than 100 items in the token exchange shop for the hunt.
Okay.
And there's no follow-up on that.
Ventures or something, I don't know.
No asterisk or any explanation on when that will get fixed. We apologize for any inconvenience this may have caused. Yeah, that's some
very
major issues and a few minor ones.
Yeah, and you think, well, at least that's a long list of things that are wrong.
But, yeah,
that's it, right? Known issues following the release of patch 7.1, November 14th. We have identified the issue. Sorry, this one actually says a known issue. We have identified the issue listed below. The issue is being investigated and addressed, and additional information will follow as the situation develops. Known issue. In the Alliance Raid dungeon Juno, the first walk, equipment is not reflected in the Duty Finder's reward already received count. That's pretty bad, isn't it? Like, you wouldn't know if you've received your weekly reward.
That's annoying.
It only lists it it only affects the gear, so it will say that if you've got your drops.
Oh, the coin.
So it won't let you know if you've. It'll tell you about the coin and the materia, but it won't tell you about if you've got the gear.
I see. If the two other, like it says here, if the two other reward items aside from equipment are received, the reward already received count will display as 2 out of 2, making it seem as if all available rewards for that round have been received when this is not the case. Please be aware when confirming whether the equipment reward has been received. Yeah, so that is a pretty annoying
bug. That's a lot to push on the player.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised this one took them that long, because I saw people talking about this one from the first day of the patch.
Yes. Yes. This is for Juno. We apologize for the inconvenience. Okay. And then you're like, okay, fine. And then another issue. This one confusing. Regarding, not confusing, but it's, maybe a little. Regarding DualShock 4 use on the Windows version via Bluetooth connection. November 15th.
Specific.
We have received multiple reports that when using a DualShock 4 connected via Bluetooth on a Windows PC, the gamepad is recognized by the PC but not by the Final Fantasy XIV client. Through our investigation, we have confirmed that when the fix was implemented for a processing issue related to the DualSense wireless controller in patch 7.1, the processing for the DualShock 4 was adjusted based on the prerequisite that it would be connected properly, and as a result, the wireless connection for the DualShock 4 became unstable in certain environments. So DualShock 4, is that... What is...
It must be the PS5 one, right?
What is the DualSense?
Is that DualShock 5? It must be... that's true. Maybe it's the PS4 then.
I would assume it's the PS4 DualShock.
They weren't called DualShocks when it was PS1, though, were they? So how many...
Yes, they were.
Were they?
Yeah.
Yes, they were called DualShocks ever since the first PS1.
Okay. That's fine then. Yeah, it makes sense. That's PS4 then.
Yeah, it is funny that they say that it would be connected properly. Square Enix considers a connection... the proper way of connecting a controller. I keep saying wireless. A controller is by plugging it in directly, even though it is a wireless controller. All right, good to know.
Well, so why do they have a port on them?
Exactly. Thank you.
Wireless.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
Because you can do wireless charging now.
Yeah, that's right. For the DualShock 4. For the PS4. That was...
You'll need a very specific cradle for it.
Okay, so regarding the use of a DualShock 4 wireless connection, as announced in the patch notes for patch 6.0, when using a DualShock 4 through a wireless connection, various functions can only be used when connected via the wireless adapter CUH ZWA1X. The X will differ.
One X.
Because X will differ depending on the region it is sold. Hereafter referred to as specified wireless adapter.
Okay.
Thank goodness for that.
However, as a result of the handling in patch 7.1, issues occurred where things that had previously worked ceased working. And that's a funny line. Issues occurred where things that had previously worked ceased working.
I mean, that's
Yeah, that's
not inaccurate.
That is not inaccurate. And as we were unable to notify players in advance, in patch 7.11, we will adjust the relevant processing so that DualShock 4 Bluetooth connections that do not go through the specified wireless adapter will be recognized as general-purpose input devices.
As a fallback option.
Yeah. This may allow the use of the controller in the same environment as before patch 7.1, but we kindly ask for your understanding that this is not an official connection procedure. In addition, please try to use the specified wireless adapter as much as possible when connecting, or as sales and support for the DualShock 4 is ending, we would appreciate it if you would consider using another gamepad.
That's fair as well, though.
We apologize for any inconvenience
They can't keep
caused,
supporting it.
and thank you for your understanding.
I think that Final Fantasy XIV is the only game where their patch notes respect all trademark symbolism.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
So
many
registered trademarks and trademarks. That's
very
bizarre.
Respectful.
So respectful. Thank you.
Yes.
Even on Bluetooth.
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah,
going to say. I'm
I was
surprised that Bluetooth hasn't become genericized enough that you don't need to do it anymore.
No. So there you go.
I agree with that. If support's ending for DualShock 4, Square Enix can't be held responsible once if they can't keep it going anymore.
The end of PS4
Buy a
support
DualSense,
is looming.
guys.
The end of
Buy a
PS4
DualSense
support.
in Cosmic Red.
Yes.
Or Urgent Purple or whatever it's called.
I have the red
The red
one.
one's so beautiful.
Yeah, it's
I want
very
the red one.
nice.
But also the purple one's nice.
The purple one's nice too.
I
Yeah.
can't even remember what color I have mine in.
I just got boring white.
Yeah, but white too. But okay. Right. Controllers. Switch. Either wait for 7.11.
No, a Switch controller won't work.
Or get
a
new
Pro
one.
will.
Will it?
Probably.
Well, wait. Sorry.
Would it have support for a Switch Pro controller?
It would just be a generic.
Like an Xbox controller would still work, right?
Xbox does, and I think the Switch Pro would probably. Give it a go, guys. Let us know.
Yeah, but Xbox is now a system.
And the
that's supported.
DualSense will work. So if you switch to a if you get a DualSense controller, that one will work as intended.
You say as if it's not as expensive or more than get most PS5 games.
It's true.
It's worth it though.
Yeah. Well, it isn't really worth it for playing on PC because you don't get most of the functions of a DualSense.
You can if it's plugged in.
Oh.
Or you can use even the feedback on because I used it on.
I don't know about all the features.
Yeah, because I think those things are maybe PS5 exclusive. I don't know.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so there you go. Those are the issues that we are dealing with currently after the patch. Hopefully by 7.11, most of them have been ironed out. Now we have to talk about. We have to talk about the hairstyle again. The hairstyle that we've been laughing at. I mean, we've seen it in game now. It's still not good, but it looks better than this screenshot. But
I don't know why they chose the screenshots they did for the patch notes because they really did not sell it well at all.
No,
it looks much better in game. Is fine.
It looks much better in more natural lighting.
Yeah,
and not in this color.
I must say though, again, it's still a bad haircut.
Oh, it does look silly.
No.
It looks
it's
not
a bad haircut, but it looks better implemented.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like it's a better implemented
within the game.
Ugly haircut.
Yeah. So we talked about it last week. It's been a lot of pushback on this hair, and like we predicted, there would be a statement, and a statement was made in the English forums. Which I've always said that if you see an English message, a dev message in the English forums, they're like, and as quickly as well, like it was less than a week, and then there was a response in the English forums. That there's been a lot of shit coming in for them. So this is the official response from Square Enix. Hello. Thank you for all your feedback on the hairstyle that will be implemented in patch 7.1. We would like to apologize for the major confusion we have caused. For this patch, we started work to implement natural curls from the winning entries of the hairstyle design contest based on the idea of adding not only straight hair but also a variety of other hairstyles. However, as the development work progressed, the light, delicate, and voluminous curls required for natural curls would not be implemented perfectly, despite implementation of the recent graphical update in Final Fantasy XIV due to limitations such as the polygon count, which we brought up last week. Therefore, the finished result is a hairstyle that has not been implemented as natural curls, but as a wavy bob hairstyle, which is called Doing the Wave in-game.
You should call it natural slime.
However, since we did use the winning entry as a reference in the development process, we included a statement that to that effect in the patch notes. We are deeply sorry that this has resulted in a great deal of confusion and concern.
So the terminology they use in the patch notes was purposeful when they said it has been inspired, but they really should have gone into more detail than just that, because it's not enough to give clarification.
Yeah. Although we were not able to make it happen this time, the development team will continue to strive to implement many more hairstyles in the future. As for natural curls, which was not implemented in patch 7.1, just making that clear, we will persevere in our efforts to look for other ways to implement this hairstyle. We appreciate your feedback and hope you continue to enjoy Final Fantasy XIV.
Thank you,
so
Sheepy.
they're going to try again. There may be.
It depends how they implement their hair. They're clearly making it quite high polygon count to try and make it look not dog shit. So,
yeah.
Having loads of people with that hair would cause issues on lower end systems.
Yeah.
And for people that were saying that like mods have been able to implement similar hairstyles, the issue with mods is that you're applying it to only your character.
Yeah.
And for those people that choose to use mods and apply it to multiple characters, there have been issues for those people saying that the client just shuts down.
Yeah.
That shows that like there is a significant number of polygons in this hairstyle compared to most of the other hairstyles in the game.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's a tough one. I mean, like I said last time, I think if you can't implement it, there's no reason to try, but you know, if people like this hairstyle, then that's good at least.
And clearly people do. Some people do.
Yeah, so it's nice that some people are happy.
Stop smiling.
It's still expensive.
I'm so tempted to, but I can't. I will not.
If I get it in
I will
the
not
dungeon
bring up.
drop,
Yeah.
I will wear it just to annoy you more than anything, Nikhil.
I won't be annoyed. I'll laugh my ass off. I think.
Yeah, because it'll look funny. I think on my character,
you
this would look
in
really
that
funny.
hair, would be so funny.
But I'm not spending 3 million gil on it.
No, it'll drop soon. Yeah.
I like that they end up by saying that they're open to trying to make the hairstyle again when they believe they've got the means to do so.
Yeah.
Keep trying.
Yeah.
You know, some hairs are harder to do in 3D.
Well, in
graphics.
our engine.
Yeah.
In our engine, very difficult to do.
Yeah.
But even in gaming in general, we're only getting good hair options over the last few years, more and more.
Yeah. And like Yorgi said, I think the I see a lot of I've seen that a lot on social media about these curls that modders are doing it. Look at how detailed this one is from and this is in engine. It's like, yeah, but how many characters can you see on screen in 14 at one time? I mean, it's a lot of characters. Put that on every character, even if it doesn't crash. I bet you that game is chugging along at like 2 frames per second. Like it would not work. So
and if it worked, they've got a good computer. You have to think about the other users of this game.
Yes,
people
that too.
playing on PS4s and older PCs and
if the modders were able to make natural curls within the limitations of the actual normal hairstyles.
So with the maximum polygon count they currently have for hairstyles, which I believe currently the one that has the most is the one that replicates the Derplander's hairstyle from the opening Dawntrail cutscene.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. So yeah, there you go. That's all we can say about this.
I think it's a decent statement.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They have acknowledged it.
It shows that they understand that this isn't what people wanted.
Exactly,
but they're doing their best with what they can, and they'll try. And this isn't the end for it necessarily.
Right.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Okay. Moving right along. There have been job adjustments this patch. They were not present in the preliminary patch notes that we read, but they are in the complete patch notes. So we'll be going through them now. Yeah, let's just jump into it. We'll start with Paladin.
Yay.
For cover, range has been extended from 10 to 20 yalms, so even longer. That's already been buffed once before, I believe. So
yeah, but look at the size of some of the arenas in Juno.
That's true. Yeah, this was
required. Are you using cover in 24
I know
man
you're
raids?
not, but like just in case. Also, some of the Arcadian floors are reasonably big as well. I think we're getting big arenas.
That's true.
Dungeons as well are getting a lot bigger.
Oh, the dungeon.
So
can't wait to talk about dungeon.
Yeah. Intervene is now acquired at level 66, which used to be 74. So you get Intervene much
Thank
earlier.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Yay.
Hallowed Ground. It finally happened, folks. The effects of this action will now be applied earlier. So I'm assuming the moment you press the button.
In a situation where I actually get to test this, but
yeah, I mean
when it happens, it's good.
I will spoil this already for White Mage. I was like, benediction, it's gonna happen. It's gonna actually be no. We're not getting that.
That was genuinely after I read the Hallowed Ground change. I was like, I'm gonna skip down to White Mage. Like,
that's what I did. Yeah. But I think it's because it's part of their philosophy almost, like that the animation has to hit you to activate. Because benediction, there's like an orb or whatever that comes down, and it only applies when it hits you. So I think that's what they want to happen. I think it's just on purpose.
What they're doing with the PvP changes.
Yes, right.
So it does fit with that. I mean,
Yeah.
It doesn't matter as much for self buffs than it does for things that hit other people.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, Hallowed Ground is of course it makes sense for Hallowed Ground because the animation is instant. The moment you click Hallowed Ground, it just happens. So the effect should be on immediately. For Marauder. Holmgang, the same thing. Effect of this action will be applied earlier, and the same goes for Chaotic Cyclone. The hit detection for this action will now trigger earlier.
Which one of its AoEs is Chaotic Cyclone?
Is that the one where it goes...
You say that as if,
how do I explain?
That's not a lot of them.
How do I explain it? How do I describe it? What, Mela?
It's the crit DH one.
Uh-huh. Okay.
That reduces the recast of Infuriate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and for Dark Knight, Dark Mind now also reduces physical damage taken by 10%.
I've seen people saying that there might be a reason for that based on the ultimate.
Oh, I see. Okay. Living Dead, the effect of this action will now be applied earlier.
That's good.
Same. Yeah.
Good.
I mean, theirs requires work anyway, so it's weird that could lose to the trigger on that one.
Yes. Abyssal Drain, cure potency has been increased from 200 to 500.
That would pretty much instantly heal you anytime you're in a pack now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's big. Wow.
For Carve and Spit, the additional effect restores own HP has been added with a cure potency of 500. So
you think your paladins?
It's finally let's be real. Dark Knight has
that's true,
needed this. So
I thought it was Carve and Split. Has it always been Carve and Spit? I don't like that as much. Anyway. Well, Abyssal Drain and Carve and Spit share a recast timer, so I think they want them to both be able to heal. The annoying thing about Carve and Spit was that it regained MP but not HP, so if you were single targeting, why would you... But you needed health, it was annoying to use.
Yeah, that's true.
For Blood Spiller, potency has been increased from 580 to 600. Dark Missionary is now acquired at level 66, which used to be 76, so same as Paladin. Lowered.
Well, this is a different skill.
Yeah, but they've pulled down a skill. Now also reduces physical damage taken by 5%. For Scarlet Delirium, potency has been increased from 600 to 620. Comeuppance potency has been increased from 700 to 720. Torque Cleaver. Potency has been increased from 800 to 820.
Yeah,
Is
it's
that
interesting
like
when
the
you see skill
100
names that you've
finisher
never
thing?
recognized before.
Yeah. It's like I'm reading it for the first time.
I've not really played Dark Knight at 100.
Is Torque Cleaver like that? Must be
I assume it's their end
100.
thing.
Yeah, that's why I
Yeah.
don't recognize it. I haven't leveled it yet. For Gunbreaker, Aurora, Cure Potency has been increased from 200 to 300. Again,
That's
better
good.
heals.
That's very beneficial.
Yeah. Superbolide, the effects of this action will now be applied earlier, but also no longer reduces
like
HP to 1,
I
and
don't like
instead
this either.
reduces HP to 50% of maximum.
That's a weird change.
As a healer, though, that is
I appreciate from your
nice.
perspective, but that was like the point
What?
of their...
Yeah.
Yes, it was. It was made it unique. What is
Yeah.
the cooldown on Superbolide compared to Hallowed Ground? Hallowed Ground is 7 minutes. What is Superbolide's?
Cooldown 360 seconds.
Okay. So
It's still 5 minutes, so it's a decent amount of time. But this has made it so that someone has been able to solo the Voidcast dies as a Gunbreaker now.
Okay.
Hmm.
Heart of Light.
6 minutes.
6 minutes, yeah.
Yeah,
Heart of
bad
Light.
math.
Heart of Light now also reduces physical damage taken by 5%. Hypervelocity, potency reduced. Whoops, a nerf. From 180 to 160. Potency increase from the trait Melee Mastery 2 has been changed from 220 to 200. So hypervelocity has been nerfed. Double Down, cartridge cost has been reduced from 2 to 1. So
Good.
that's
That's
nice.
a DPS increase. Well,
Yeah.
Increase.
It's not really a DPS. Well, I guess it is a little bit, yeah.
It would
actually.
be, yeah. For Dragoon, Piercing Talon, the trait Lance Mastery will now increase potency from 150 to 200. That's a 50 potency increase. The effect Enhanced Piercing Talon has been added, which increases potency to 350. Wow.
That's good. That's a nice buff.
Yeah. Elusive Jump, the additional effect grants Enhanced Piercing Talon... grants Enhanced
so
Piercing
you-
Talon has been added with a duration of 15
You
seconds.
jump and then piercing.
It's to make it less punishing when you jump
Oh,
out because
no.
they've removed their damaging gap closes.
There's going to be so many more Dragoons jumping off.
No, but it's normal
platforms.
jump, so it's... Oh, no,
Oh.
Elusive Jump's the backwards one, isn't it?
Yeah,
You're
this is
right.
the one
Yeah,
that
Elusive
jumps
Jump
back.
is the back
No,
one.
yeah, there is, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Oh well, that's what they do.
That's
they
their
die.
job.
That's what Dragoons do.
They live to die and speak French.
Oh God, I'm gonna say that.
Skogul.
Yeah, I
People
want
are unhappy about this.
for Geirskogel. Stacks of Nastrond ready granted has been reduced from 3 to 1.
Oh, that's what's been going on.
Oh shit!
I was finishing, I think Dragoon was 97. I've been finishing it off. And I was thinking, didn't this normally give me 3 Nastrons? What's going on here?
Whoops. Yeah, that's a
That
pretty
feels
significant
bad.
nerf.
It doesn't feel great.
Yeah.
Although, to be
No,
fair, they have a
they've-
lot of buttons to press, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, but they got you already. They got you all fucking built up to do it 3 times, and now they've taken
That's
it
true.
away.
Yeah, that's sad.
Yep. Mirage Dive potency has been increased from 200 to 380.
Big.
And for Nastrond, potency has been increased from 300 to 600. But all of
they
this
doubled it,
is
but they
because
given
of,
less.
before.
yeah, they've
Yeah.
given less stacks. Okay. Potency increase from the trait Lance Mastery 3 has been changed from 360 to 720. So
That's still lower than it
They're
would have been before. Though. It would have been a 900 potency.
it is a overall DPS loss, I guess, with that change.
But in other ways, though, they've added to it, like with the piercing tire. I'm sure
Yeah.
they've balanced it.
They
upwards
have
more.
they've crunched the numbers.
Most of
I'm
them
sure.
are being balanced upwards, I think.
Yeah. For Stardiver, potency has been increased from 620 to 720. Potency increase from the trait Melee Mastery has been changed from 720 to 820. For Starcross, range has been increased from 3 to 20 ohms. Whoa.
Big.
And
Good.
potency has been increased from 900 to 1,000.
Nice.
It's just another way for them to do damage at range, which is good.
Yes.
Other than Lance throw.
Yes.
Yeah. What's it called? Piercing Talon, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. For Ninja, Throwing Dagger, the trait Melee Mastery 2 will now increase potency from 120 to 200. Dream Within a Dream, potency increase from 150 to 180. Dokimori, attack has been changed from single target to a cone, dealing damage with a potency of 300 to the first target and 25% less for all remaining enemies.
I'd love to comment on that, but I have no idea what Dokomori is.
No. No.
But it's nice to see a skill change from single target to AoE, and to see a cone.
Yes.
It's nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like a good cone.
Yes. Tenchi Jin. Players can now move while under the effect of Tenchi Jin.
This is the big change. This is the change that Rollo has been asking for years, and it's such a shame he's not here to talk about
Oh, no.
Typical corporate boy, always
Yeah.
doing corporate things instead of playing the game, eh?
Yeah. And then Tenri Jindo. The hit detection for this action will now trigger earlier.
it. Cool.
Cool.
Nice.
Wish I knew
That's
what
just
that was.
in line with the other stuff. I don't really know much ninja skills.
No.
I don't really like most of them in this game.
Oh,
Next,
boy.
Samurai.
It's Samurai.
Samurai, the job that I leveled impurely through Chloe books and Frontlines and got to 100 and know nothing about anymore.
I can't express how little I enjoy Samurai and have enjoyed it so little since Inception. The playstyle just doesn't gel with me. But it's cool for people.
It's time for Lukiel to stumble through Samurai skill names.
That's what I was. That's the part about this that I love most about Samurai.
All right. First off, we have Hisatsu Gyoten.
Good.
Recast time has been reduced from 10 to 15
Don't look up
seconds.
as if you're looking for praise.
Aww.
Oh god. Okay.
Thanks, Sensei.
Gyofu. Potency has been increased from 230 to 240. Zanshin. Potency has been increased from 820 to 900.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds spicy.
That's a big increase.
I was doing
this is the
so
one I was
well.
waiting for.
TKS.
Tendo Keishi Setsugeka.
Good enough.
The character motions and visual effects for this action have been changed. All right.
That's unusual. I don't.
That was
Can't comment on that. We can't comment on what that means, but that's cool, I guess.
Yeah.
We don't play Samurai enough to know what it used to look like, so we'll have no way of telling what it looks like now.
If Rollo were here, he probably would be able to tell us, but he is not.
Rollo
so.
is the only one of us that can really talk about melees in any degree of expertise for the most part.
Yes, it's true.
Oh,
okay.
no.
Oh, boy. And then here we are for Reaper. Arcane Circle, Circle of Sacrifice effect now also grants stacks of Immortal Sacrifice when your party members successfully land an ability. When you or party members successfully land an ability. Okay.
Cool.
Void Reaping. After learning the action Communio, the hotbar icon will no longer be illuminated when remaining Lemure Shroud stacks are at 1.
Good.
Cool.
Sweet.
Cross Reaping. After learning the action Communio, the hotbar icon will no longer be illuminated when remaining Lemure Shroud stacks are at 1.
We'll see with the next one as well. Go for that one first.
Grim Reaping. After learning the action Communio, the hotbar icon will no longer be illuminated when remaining Lemure Shroud stacks are at 1. So.
See, I don't remember the name of the skill, but there's another skill you want to use when the Lemura stacks are at 1. And the problem is, since these are still lit up, there's always like the monkey part of your brain like, ooh, I want to click that, but you shouldn't.
Right.
You should click the other button.
Right.
Mm.
And then finally, Executioner's Gallows. The hit detection for this action will now trigger earlier. So there you go.
Thank you, chat. Yes, it is Communio, the skill that is mentioned in the description.
Communio, yes. Machinist.
Oh.
Heated Clean Shot. Potency has been increased from 140 to 160. Combo potency has been increased from 400 to 420. Blazing Shot.
Speaking of blazing it.
Blazing Shot. Potency has been increased from 220 to 240. Flamethrower. Area of effect has been increased from 8 to 12 yalms, and potency has been increased from 80 to 100. Yeah.
Is this enough to make it actually good to use, chat? Because I imagine it still isn't.
For me, Flamethrower exists to walk away for about 10 seconds.
For me, Flamethrower exists for the job fantasy.
Yeah.
It looks cool.
It does.
I will just chuck it out on a pack, just, to watch me burn enemies.
Double check. Potency has been increased from 160 to 170. And checkmate. Potency has been increased from 160 to 170.
Sweet. I mean, it's just a general buff on most of their combo abilities and simple abilities.
For Dancer, Fan Dance, the trait Dynamic Dancer will now increase potency from 150 to 180. Curing Waltz, area effect increase from 3 to 5 yalms.
That's nice.
Sweet.
That is nice. Fan Dance 3, the trait Dynamic Dancer will now increase potency from 200 to 220. And for Starfall Dance, action change settings can now be enabled to switch Starfall Dance with Devilment.
Good.
Cool.
This annoyed me when I was leveling, and I was like, why are these two separate buttons still?
Oh, yeah.
Devilment can't be used outside of Starfall Dance. So it's pointless.
Old design.
Old design. Yeah. Okay.
Time for some real changes.
Black Mage.
Let's go.
Flare.
Changes.
Flare's cast time has been reduced from 4 to 3 seconds.
Big change.
That's a big change. Ley Lines, now a charged action with a maximum of 2 charges and cannot be executed well.
Massive change.
It cannot be executed well under the effect of Ley Lines, so you can't
You can't double.
double
when
cast.
would you? You can still move it with the
exactly. That's probably why they've done this.
Move it once.
That's true, but having a double stack of ley lines is so strong compared to just having to wait for it.
Yes,
that's really good.
Yes. Despair, the trait Enhanced Astral Fire, will now make the cast time instant.
This is really good too. So you don't have to swift cast it in a pinch.
And then Enhanced Enochian 4, effect potency has been reduced from 33%. What is it going to be reduced to? 32%.
Any reduction is bad. Should have been increased to 34%.
Oh my god. You'll live.
A percent is a huge loss.
You'll fucking live. Look at everything else. Cast
massive.
time on Flare's gone down from 4 to 3.
Let's talk about your holy when we get to it, shall we?
No.
Instant cast now, basically.
Don't make them make any changes to what they've done.
You're like a holy Gatling gun now. You need to nerf.
Shut the fuck up. I keep you alive, bitch. All right.
Rarely.
Well, I was going to say not often during Friday streams.
That's true. Summoner. Crimson Cyclone. The additional effect grants Crimson Strike ready has been added. The effect ends upon the execution of certain summoner actions. Cool. Crimson Strike. No, I love silence. Dead crickets.
Well, yeah, because it needs you to say the second part.
Okay. For Crimson Strike, it's no longer a combo action and instead requires the effect of Crimson Strike ready for execution.
Good, because it means you can now cast between the two of them. Because if you cast anything else as to clip the GCD between them, you would have lost Crimson Strike originally.
That's a stupid thing to do. But no, that's a good change.
Summon Ifrit 2. A potency of...
List them all.
Oh yeah, we can say, Summon Ifrit 2 and Summon Titan 2 and Summon Garuda 2. Their attack potency has been increased from 750 to 800.
Yeah, that skill.
Inferno, Earth and Fury, and Aerial Blast. Sunflare, potency increase from 700 to 800.
General buff.
Yes.
As expected.
For Red Mage, Verflare, potency... Verflare and Verholy, potency increase from 620 to 650. Scorch, potency increase 700 to 750. And Resolution potency increase from 800 to 850. So very clean, buff.
Just buff.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not 100% on top of things, but I thought Red Mage needed more than this to be for a good buff, but okay.
I think Red Mage will always be the prog class you bring. I don't think it will ever be in a strong enough place to be a clear job.
No, well, no, I
mean, it's strong enough, but it's just... I think having Raise is too strong to give them also...
I kind of agree, though.
Attack.
It is a... Yeah. I find Red Mage to be a little stale.
It's not a very fun job to play, in my opinion.
I mean, did you say stale? Yeah, Red Mage design for philosophy has not changed since it was implemented in Stormblood.
They just keep adding an extra to the end thing. I like some of the changes with the AoE buff and the end of
Embolden.
Embolden, and the end of mana. What's it called?
Manification.
Where you get the thing after using it, but. I don't know. I think acceleration works weirdly at the moment. I feel like it's.
I agree.
Strange. Yeah. I don't know.
I preferred the previous acceleration. It felt better to play.
I agree.
They're going to need to make some sort of change with the next expansion. They can't just keep adding on to it. It's reaching the point that they felt the Dragoon was at, where it's like its rotation had reached its logical conclusion.
Yeah.
They can't just keep adding a finisher like to the existing.
It's getting ridiculous.
It just keeps happening. The last one is not a. This one wasn't a finisher. That's true. It was an OGCD. Yeah. Okay, moving on to Pictomancer. Palm motif. A palm will now appear on your canvas upon entering instant duties or when restarting an encounter. You can say that for the next two as well. Yeah, same for hammer and starry sky. So a hammer and a starry sky.
Canvas. Does it mean that it just auto-fills them?
Yes.
That's what it's saying.
Yeah, it's already in. So if someone pulls too early, you don't have to worry about having... Yeah. This is a weird thing that wasn't already... It was strange that this wasn't already the case, because there are other jobs that have things like this as convenience. Yes. And then for Starry Muse, the ground effect will no longer appear when battle effects are set to show limited. No.
It's fine if you want it like that.
Yes. Okay. Healers.
Oh, this is quite a big change.
Yeah, Asuna is now an instant cast. Good. Yes.
I mean, at the end of the day, it was such a fast cast anyway, and it obviously is still a GCD. Why not be instant?
Yeah. So you can cast Asuna immediately. Yeah. Okay. For White Mage, some pretty significant... Well, one very significant change right off the bat. Holy's recast time has been reduced from 2.5 seconds to 1.5 seconds.
That's ridiculous. Undeserved.
Which, I mean, I currently, with my gear, it's like at 1.2 seconds, right? That's crazy.
Plus
very undeserved.
The cooldown... The GCD buff as well, whatever that's called, between... I can't remember what it's called.
The what? The presence of mind?
Yeah. I'm sure it's even faster.
That makes it crazy. Like, I think that's like sub-second.
Well,
like, it's less than a second.
Yeah, it's stupid, isn't it?
They need to remove the stun. You can't have something this powerful.
You need to get rid of that stun.
What the fuck? Why would you want to...
It stops working after like 5, doesn't it?
It's like a tank's best friend, Mela. Like,
no, it's not a tank's best friend. It's a tank's... Oh my god, I've not positioned them yet, and now 3 of the enemies
are gonna
still on
moan
the
and scream when your White Mage can no longer fucking stop. Do you know how often that has saved a tank's life? So a tank goes, I can do this in my level 110 gear, and I'd be like, oh my god, fucking hell, and then you just throw Holies to stun them to not damage you. That's why there's stun there. When I'm a tank, I want to stun giant one of the giant mobs AoEs, and then I go to stun and the White Mage just fucked it up for me. Cry. You're alive.
I don't mind if they're in a pack. If they're in a pack, it's fine. But if you're holying while I'm still positioning, it's a bit annoying. And
well, that's true. I usually wait until they're all packed together. That's just bad healers. Bad healers.
It is bad healers. They get immune to stun after like 5 anyway.
Yeah. Chad is correct that Holy is pretty much the only crowd control skill that people ever actually use anymore. Yes,
so true. And only because it does damage.
And now you're this is Monkey's Paw, the last vestiges, the last remains of crowd control might be removed if people complain about this.
Sleep is here to stay, don't you worry.
Sleep, more like shit.
So true.
Sleep's actually useful in variant dungeons. Criterion dungeons, I should say. Right. Okay, Asylum. The visual effects indicating the area of effect has been adjusted.
Wow.
Okay. Cool. I haven't noticed. Did you notice? No. Yeah. But I'm sure it has. Glare 3. Potency has been increased from 330 to 340. Wow. Holy...
That's a bit, I guess.
It's whatever.
Yeah, Holy 3 obviously as well has been reduced to 1.5 seconds.
What about Holy 2?
It doesn't exist.
Doesn't exist. It skips.
Odd, isn't it?
Yeah.
I go straight from holy to holiga.
This is
Yes.
why White Mage really annoys me, actually.
It is really annoying.
What is it? Stone 1, 2, 3, 4, Glare 1, and then 3?
They lost.
Well, Glare 3 is not an upgrade to Glare 1.
No.
I don't know. So confusing.
Why
are you so confusing?
They've lost their way a little with White Mage as well, I think.
Is it Dia?
Dia,
Is that
yeah.
the upgrade after Stone?
No,
Yeah, but there's no Dia 3.
Dia is upgrade from Arrow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
It's an upgrade from Arrow 2, isn't it?
no, we don't have Arrow 2 anymore. So
I thought Arrow 1 upgraded to Arrow 2.
Why are you the worst?
Oh yeah, you're right.
person in the
Arrow
universe?
2. Yeah, no. Arrow 2.
You don't have Arrow 3 anymore.
Arrow 3 is the one that's gone. Right. Anyways, the more you think about White Mage, the more upsetting it becomes, because it really doesn't make any sense anymore, but it's fine. Afflatus Misery. Potency has been increased from 1,320 to 1,360. This is how you know they've crunched numbers, because these are very specific numbers.
This is the minimum upgrade they're allowed to give you.
Yeah.
I assume that makes it DPS neutral. Or did they already upgrade it to be DPS neutral? Because I remember that being an issue at the start of this expansion.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Well, it's more so an open question for chat, because I didn't expect you to know.
No, well. For Divine Caress, area of effect has been increased from 15 to 30 yalms. Divine Caress is...
good. It was
wings.
neutral and now it's a buff. Oh, you're lucky.
Okay, well, there you go. For Scholar, Embrace, cure potency has been increased from 150 to 180.
Yay.
Adloquium, MP cost has been reduced from 1,000 to 900.
So I saw these next two ones include. Yeah, go for the next one as well.
Succor, MP cost reduction 1,900 as well.
I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, cool. An MP reduction. I didn't have this issue. Is this an issue that other scholars have been having, that they've been running out of MP?
To be fair, though, you do spend a lot of time sprinting in a circle as a like a fairy, and just it's leaving it to poor Lukiel to keep up all the healing. So.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I guess so.
I've not seen. I don't know.
I
don't know how.
There's always
Scholars MP is.
Yeah.
It seems to be an issue based on most of this patch.
It's the one thing I don't really ever have to think about. Like in White Mage, they just MP is everywhere. It's just my cup runneth over.
Maybe in I don't know, in a long fight.
Mm-hmm.
No, even then, the only time you have MP is just rezzing people.
Yeah,
when we're rezzing or if we've died, those are the only issues I've ever had when we're raiding.
Yes.
And in that position, having an MP reduction to 900, I mean, that's a massive cast still.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
doesn't really help.
Seraphic Veil, cure potency increased from 150 to 180. Consultation, MP cost has been reduced. Oh, yes. For Consultation, Manifestation, and Accession, MP cost reduction from 1,000 to 900. So
cool.
There you go.
Good for you.
Better MP management for Scholar, I suppose. Astrologian, Gravity, area of effect has been increased from 5 to 8 yalms, and Gravity 2 as well. So
okay,
that's good, I guess. What's
Gravity
the
buff?
AoE on Holy,
Wait, do they
for
not?
example?
Do they not have a Gravity 3?
I'll quickly look. But what's the size of Holy?
What's the size of Holy?
I would assume it's
8 yalms.
8 yalms. Okay.
So
yeah. So Gravity was smaller. Well, I guess that makes sense because Gravity is a ranged AoE.
That's true.
That's true. Actually, yeah. Gravity.
Oh God, Sage is next after this.
No, I think it's Gravity 2.
Okay.
No, I guess they're not actually. Okay, so for Sage, Prognosis. Okay, these are. Well, okay.
Sage maybe in long fights have lost MP more.
I notice it more with Sage because I feel like you have to force yourself to use heals if you don't need them.
Yeah.
There's not much downtime. You keep it to spam stuff out.
Yeah. So for Prognosis, MP cost reduction from 800 to 700, and for your creation Diagnosis and Prognosis, 900 reduced from 900 to 800 MP.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. For doses, 3 potency increase from 360 to 370, very minor. Same for goes for Toxicon 2, 360 to 370, and Numa potency increase from 360 to 370.
Nice.
Eucration Prognosis 2 MP cost reduction 900 to 800, and Philosophia area of effect has been increased from 20 to 30 yalms.
And that's it.
That is all. That
Good
is
stuff.
Yep.
Some good buffs all around.
Good buffs. Most people are happy except for Dragoon and I guess
Maybe Red Mage.
Maybe Red Mage. They're more disappointed. Maybe Red Mage. So yeah, there you go. That's the buffs. Congratulations to everyone for the buff, except for Dragoon and Red Mage. Red Mage got a buff. It's just very boring.
I think other people are disappointed for Gunbreakers, not Gunbreakers themselves. I feel like Gunbreakers probably appreciate the fact that Super Bowl Light has gone from 1 HP to half their HP.
Yeah.
They're probably loving it.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's a bit of a loss of identity.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it makes them stronger.
It does. It still
now
has a penalty for using it, but it is
It's very mild.
when you add like the
1
all the
HP
new
is a panic.
Yeah. It is a panic, but it comes with a lot of downsides. It will often cause a healer to use their like panic heals too early, even if they don't need
That's
to.
true.
That's true.
There's a lot of that, I guess, but okay. Anyways, we'll see how that plays out now with the new meta forming around
I'd be interested
Gunbreaker.
to see how it works if you're under 50% of the maximum already. I assume it just leaves your HP at the same value.
Well, it's 50% of your current health, isn't it?
No, it's 50% of the maximum, it says.
Oh, of maximum health. Oh, that's even
So
worse.
does it heal you?
It would be funny if it did. It says it reduces HP to 50% of the maximum.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Unless the maximum means the current maximum HP, but I would think it would say current HP otherwise.
Yeah, I would.
So-
Yeah, I would assume so.
I think it should say, it probably means this, but it probably should say reduces HP to the half of the maximum HP, unless it is below that already.
Yeah.
Mhm, yeah.
In which case, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's do a quick MogMail, and then we will do our MSQ review. Now, I will say again, we will not be reviewing the 11 raid. We will do that next week. We want to, make sure we have enough time to talk about everything. So, MSQ this week, 11 Juno raid,
And the
next
other
week.
stuff.
And all the other stuff, miscellaneous next week. Okay. Let's jump into MogMail. This is from Mr. Wolfsaid from Goblin.
Goblin.
Hey there, speakers. Hope all is well wherever you are. This might be a quick one. Is that Electrope in Copperbell? A bit more context. Copperbell, the mining-themed dungeon with a connection to giants, shares some similarities with our more recent mining-themed dungeon, also connected to giants, Skydeep. In Copperbell, the final area for... How do we say his name? Gigas?
We've never heard it. I would say Gaijis.
Gaijis.
I don't think it's ever been said out loud.
Gigs.
Gigs is weird purple crystal. I doubt the developers had Electrope in mind when they first made the dungeon. Definitely not. But what about when they did the graphical update? There we go. I got there. It's not an exact match to the purple crystal seen at Electrope Strike, but it's close. Almost a corrupted or impure version. Or are the purple crystals of Copperbell a leftover from some corrupted crystal plotline? Is there lore? Thanks, and have a good one, Mr. Wolf said. Well,
It says Amagina and Sons Mineral Concern reclaimed the shafts, proceeded to expand downwards in an attempt to tap yet undiscovered veins of valuable metal.
mm-hmm.
Is what it's listed as in lore.
Yeah.
So the crystals aren't what they're mining.
And then there's nothing that I can see that's talked about. I mean, it's not Electro.
I don't think it's Electrope because I feel like Electrope is primarily a square mineral.
Yeah.
It has that crystal structure.
It's like that weird. Yeah, I never remember what it's called, but yeah.
Whereas in his boss, it's like
Oh yeah, move the slide ahead.
Oh shit.
I think it's a crystal in the boss arena. If you like look through it, and it's it looks like crystals that we have in other areas.
I thought it was just like, lightning aspected or umbral aspected crystal, like lightning.
And it's just in an unusual shape. But I'm sure we have crystals like that in other boss fights and areas in the game. That, like, it looks like the Giant's Causeway.
Yeah.
But Electrope is very cubular. Definitely not like this.
It is
and
very
not this color as well.
No, it would be interesting if they like retroactively made it look like Electrope and but I don't see why they would do that with Copperbell mines.
I would assume that the purple crystal around Electrope Strike is just lightning aspected crystal that they have to get through to get to the Electrope.
Sure, yeah. Because you can see the massive mine in the middle, and at the bottom it's looks like Electrope, and then it's just the crystal.
I am pretty certain that that's all it is, because in a Realm Reborn specifically, there would be no thought of having, Electrope. Electrope was not. Yeah. No one was thinking about Electrope during Realm Reborn.
They didn't need Deus Ex Machina back then.
No. Okay, so there you go. That's
basically what Heidelin does when we're fighting guys.
That's actually true. Yeah. This game's got a lot of. Look, you gotta.
It's a Final Fantasy game. Deus Ex Machina. Yeah. Deus Ex Machina is It's just how. That's just how it goes.
Gotta have. You can't get too serious about it because otherwise you'd get frustrated.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Mr. Wolfsaid. And on that note, we begin our patch. Our patch 7.1 MSQ review.
Oh, little blueberry.
Spoilers, obviously, for the MSQ from this point on. Make sure you have done the MSQ before you proceed watching.
That's fine.
That's English.
If you want to, there's no other reason actually for you to stick around, because this is going to run until the end of the show. So if you haven't done the MSQ, this is where you should leave. We'll see you later. Bye. Okay. MSQ. We have a lot to talk about here actually. The story has 3 plots. Three main plots. We'll go through. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about all 3 of them. We're not going to do this in like a chronological order. We're going to talk about the storylines themselves. So we'll start with the first one, which is the Golulja storyline, with his quest to find his mother and learn more about his father.
What triggered him to remember this, or wanted to follow up on this? It was after the funeral, but I don't remember the exact thing that was like, maybe I want to learn more about who my mother was.
He said he was talking about like death, and he's like, when I think about my father, I feel
he's sad, but he couldn't understand. He didn't feel anything about his mother, so he wanted to know why.
Yeah, he wanted to know why he couldn't feel anything when he thought about his mother. Yeah, that's it. It's a cute storyline, a bit dark.
It's very dark. I think a bit is underselling it.
How do we even attack this? We start very early with the dungeon in this storyline, actually, because we find out.
Let's just talk about the dungeon first. Actually.
Yeah, let's
what
talk
do you
about
think of the dungeon.
I love the bosses in the
Fuel
dungeon.
Station. Yeah, the bosses.
I'm still pleased with their ability to make PvE. I know we said beforehand, hope it's because it's going to be part of the expert roulette. Hope it's still good.
Mm-hmm.
The trash pulls were maybe the trashiest we've had for a while, just because there's also a lot of walking between.
That's true.
The zombies were irritating.
Yes,
I didn't really like the trash,
but I have to say the ambience of this dungeon.
Oh yeah,
very. I was going to say that
it was cool.
Yeah,
the lighting once you enter the laboratory itself was amazing. I had to take a screenshot of how my shadow just hit
Yeah,
the walls.
there
Yeah,
is
with the
really
red lighting.
Yes,
atmospheric.
that
It
exact
looked so
moment.
good.
I was like,
Yeah.
whoa, Jesus.
It felt like Alien or something.
It did.
Because
Yeah.
like when I saw my shadow against the backdrop when I was running, it was like, wow, that's really like artistic in how it even just like
Yes.
reflects across the screen.
Yes.
I was impressed with that.
And also I was a little, I mean, the zombies, we have had zombies before, obviously.
It was
We've had
nice to see Dusk Vigil monsters back.
Yeah, well, even earlier, like Pharaoh
Yeah.
Sirius had them the
Yeah,
first
yeah.
time, I
Yeah.
think.
Mhm.
But if you look at the model, they're like really. I'm like, what the fuck are they? And they have like these like they look horrible. You should take a look at. There are some that are just like lying on the ground in the
And we took
facility.
a child here.
Yeah,
Yes.
and there's some people, the test subjects still floating in their test tubes,
Yes,
like just humans.
yes. It was very
Don't
Don't worry,
like
they all look
Resident
exactly
Evil.
the same.
That's true.
Yeah,
Clones of,
yeah.
Clone Factory maybe.
It was giving Resident Evil. It was giving what is that? One of the games, one of the Resident Evil. Well, many of them Resident Evil games. You could argue. So yeah, the bosses were good.
Yeah, the Lindblum Zagnal.
That is the. Do you recognize it?
That's
That's the
from 9.
That's the one that
Yeah,
we were from
yeah.
the festival in 9.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that was fun.
Because Alexandria,
Yeah.
I
like
liked
it
the
when
AoE like dance when it knocked over the pillar things. That was cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like when bosses interact with the arena.
Yes. Yes.
This was a pretty energetic fight.
Yes.
Overseer Kaniloka.
Mm-hmm.
That was a pretty good fight.
Yeah.
With like the misdirection.
Mm-hmm.
The misdirection was, I was surprised for them to include, but that was a very unique.
Some cool
thing to
AoEs as
include in
well.
Dungeon boss.
Mm-hmm.
But
The last boss.
Piatti, the Taral Vidral.
I really liked the
Such
final
a clever
boss.
fight.
Yes.
Nice to see them doing. They very, very rarely do, like, arena defamation things.
At least defamation
But
that
this one
remains
was
permanent
really-
for the rest of the
This
fight.
was
So yeah.
very enjoyable fight. Really
Yes.
cool. Very, very, very clever. Very
Yes.
nicely done.
It was fun, and you have the fact it changes. It's such a simple thing, you know, but it changed the whole
It made it
fight.
much more stressful when you have to run away from it.
Yes, yes,
And even like I would say both phases of the fight are difficult in their own way. It's not
Yeah.
like once it's not like before the hole appears it's like significantly easier. I still think the mechanics are quite complicated to get through.
yes.
Yeah, it was pretty
Agree.
pretty neato. I haven't done it with people yet.
Did
I
you-
only did it the one.
No,
But
I
yeah,
did
did-
it with.
Did you think that the hole would be filled back in? at
Yes.
any point during
Yeah,
the
I
fight?
Because
assumed
that's
it
what we
was.
do in this game. It's like, oh, okay, no, enough of that. Back to restart the cycle. But no, never happened again.
It was
So
a good-
It's not the only one though. The last one I can think of off the top of my head is Hero's Gauntlet, the final boss.
Oh yeah, where you had to like. Dip
oh god, which
down
one
with
is
the-
that? Which
It's
boss?
it's the Berserker, the one
Yeah.
that like,
Oh.
deforms the
He,
ground and
like,
you have to
lowers
hide
some of them. Yeah.
in
Right.
the holes.
Right,
that
right,
he
right.
creates.
I see.
That
Yeah,
was
yeah.
cool.
Okay. So done with the dungeon, we find a big computer terminal in there with.
Well, first we get an Echo flashback.
Oh yeah, shit. We
From-
get it from.
From the
Taral Vidral.
Yes, and that's when the bad vibes really start. Well, already, no, actually, the dungeon itself is bad vibes all around when you read the research notes. That plays.
Yes, nice to have
horrible.
The general like the experiments they were doing is what we saw in not
Vanguard.
ergonomics. What's the fucking
Vanguard.
Vanguard.
Yeah, Vanguard.
Yeah.
Where they would, they were putting animal souls into human bodies. To
Yeah. Yeah.
augment them. And
Yeah.
this
I
was
mean,
like
it's
the
also
beginning
what
of
they're
that
doing
research.
in the Arcadion.
That's true.
Yes.
Maybe we will have some stronger opinions about that soon. Hopefully, our character just doesn't give a shit.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll talk about that a little later. But then, yeah, we get the Echo flashback, which shows us. Is this when we see her the first time?
I believe this is when we see her. We'd heard the people in the outskirts talk about it, but I believe this is the first time we see her model.
Okay, yeah.
We get some background on Tishal Jar.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Soralja is there.
And Soralja.
She was a member. She was a chirurgeon in the Lands Guard.
Yeah. She got trapped when the dome came down and was helping him. She chose his aid.
She chose to stay in Uiawata because she didn't have anything for her back in Tulialo.
Right.
And we meet the the head scientist as well, whoever he is.
Yeah.
Who's doing the experiments?
Yes.
And she wants something.
She wants something. And
this is not what I expected her to want.
No.
Well, at the end there, she gets. I'm like, okay, wait. I'm just like, oh, I want something that only you can give or whatever. I'm like, okay.
He's so strong and handsome and such a good. When she used to watch him pre-dome, she when he was training and whatever.
She's been ogling him for a while. So that's the first. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I did not think that Zoralja was the kind of person that would just give off his body just as a tool for the purposes of his goals. I thought this was not something he would do.
No. It didn't feel like his character.
No.
And then his shock at the consequences seemed misplaced as well.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, I can sort of understand that because his father was inherently supposed to be sterile.
That's
so
true.
I'm not surprised that he would have thought that he was sterile, and then he was greeted with this thing that made him this little blueberry that made him consider the fact that he didn't even have a great relationship with his own father. Why would he want to replicate that?
Which is a shame though, because you'd think he would see it as the miracle it is.
Right. But
he already has struggled with dealing with the fact that he's a miracle.
I think we're thinking there's a lot here because he was willing to give anything to just get the stuff done. There was the scene before when he talked to the scientist. It was very clear.
You can have anything you want.
You can kill people. It doesn't matter. As long as we get it. Although he has a moment where he thinks about it, he's like, at that point, all brakes are off. Just do what you have to. Mm-hmm. And so when she starts talking like that, he does the same thing. It's like, okay, as long as you get it done. Just I'll give you, and we don't know what he gave. I think
it's implied more than anything, but it's not sad to know. You're right.
Yeah, it is likely he gave her just some genetic material, which is what they talked about with the scientist before. That she got some sort of genetic material and then got a baby, which is why he's so fucking shocked when it is presented.
In terms of why he would be shocked,
because if he fucked her, he would be like, oh. Wow, what, the baby? That happens when you fuck? You don't think Soralja knows what fucking does?
It just felt way more sinister than just giving the
But that's what I mean. I think it is pretty sinister because the way she almost chants
from him
about it, it's this I can fix him. The baby will fix him. A baby.
Exactly.
She
tries to baby trap him.
Yeah, she does. Yeah,
but he's not having any of that.
Yeah.
They out-toxicked each other.
It's up in the air. The game leaves it open on purpose, I think, but we don't know exactly what happened.
One thing led to another, and Gululja was born.
Yes.
Created.
Yeah.
Well, don't they come...
They're
maybe
eggs,
I just read someone's... Yeah, I thought they came from eggs.
I think they do.
But it's hard to know for him, for sure. I think we have to assume she gave birth or, natural.
We don't know. There's no way to assume that because we don't know.
Because they're in a horrible laboratory.
They're in a lab.
Him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And
there's a lot of details that they skip over purposely.
But when he was talking to the scientists, they specifically talked about samples from people and stuff. That's what they do there.
I just don't think that she'd be satisfied with that personally.
But she just wants the baby.
She doesn't.
She just wants the baby.
Just the baby. I thought she wanted him.
She wants the baby so that he will be with her. Is what I got from that. She wants to, like you said, she wants to baby trap him because she can fix him. I think that's what was happening there. Maybe. Again, up for interpretation.
It's like an EastEnders plotline.
It is. Yeah.
I thought it was more sinister, and I feel like that makes more sense to me than just the genetic. Because I just
can't believe he fucked her and then was like, "What? What is this? This is impossible."
I can because I just don't. I think he probably thought he was sterile. I don't think that.
Yeah, if he never knew.
Well,
I
it's
mean,
up for
there's not much
interpretation.
education
I'm
either,
sure
so-
we have no way of confirming
Yeah.
any of this. I just find it strange that they're in a lab that literally specializes in this, and that's not what they did. Like that way she could do it behind his back. How would he know? Like, how would she hide?
There is an element of her being sinister. Yeah, it's hard to know.
Yeah.
She's very from the shadows. Like,
How would she hide? I mean, if they lay eggs, then she wouldn't need to really incubate it inside her, so she wouldn't really be
That's
showing
true.
pregnancy.
yeah,
That's true.
I'm sure she talked about like with the baby, like keeping out of sight with him. Did
Well, that
she?
was after he was
yeah,
born.
We
Yeah.
also, Chad is correct that Shale is going to look for more details as well.
Yeah,
This is not
we
actually
will-
the end
we
of the
will
story.
know
We might
more.
get more.
Mhm.
We will know more.
I wouldn't be surprised if we don't get further confirmation on this particular detail, but we will find out more about this particular story.
If we find out more, it's gonna be that it is a DNA sample, because they're not gonna tell us that they fucked. You
No,
know,
that's true.
That's not, and then they laid together, and that's not gonna happen. Who would put that in a record unless she records it?
This was a diary for herself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's a bit weird.
She's very strange.
She is very strange. She really wanted that baby with Soralja. So yeah, Soralja does not want anything to do with that thing. And
Galorja.
that
I
is-
think the outcome for him was very healthy, and all the characters commented on it as well. He's mature beyond his years, which is
that's true.
I feel like initially didn't come through. The way he hung out with Otis made him feel very infantile,
Yes.
but suddenly he seems to have come into his own,
Yes.
and he's got sort of a much more mature worldview. So I don't really know where it's coming from, but maybe he's internalizing a lot of it though, and he's like, trying to look outwardly.
I mean, if you're gonna go dark, children that live rough lives have to grow up
That's
faster
true.
than others. So
And he's not had a great time.
no.
His idea of fun was going into some horrible ruins with a robot.
Yes. Yes.
The robot was pretty cool.
Otis was.
Otis was
elevated.
nice, but yeah.
But yeah, and they called him king.
They did. They called him Your Majesty. So he
So we
is.
know he is the de
king.
facto ruler of
And I also think
Solution 9.
what that's going to mean in relation to one of the other storylines.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yes.
That is true.
But
But there's no regent. Although no, he has the helper man though.
he
You know
does
what I
have.
enjoyed?
Yeah.
I enjoyed when he was typing inside the Inuit water.
Yes!
Just like a
Yes.
baby on
I
a
wanted
computer.
a gif of it. I need a gif of that.
Yeah.
You could put anything on it.
Mm-hmm.
So funny. He's just. Oh, and also the great plot line of, I'll just put it on this USB flash drive I brought with me.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not that weird.
Okay.
No,
Of
well,
course you brought one.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you?
And then and then right at the end, Shale, thanks for that USB flash drive you gave me a bit ago. I mean, I know, but it's just annoying.
Yeah.
I don't think that is that strange in a world like Alexandria.
No, that's
where
not.
like I'm sure that like flash memory is very common.
Cryo-
And something, especially if you.
Kryle had an earring that was a flash
That's
drive
true.
essentially.
Yeah.
So
That she didn't even know.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
He's like a
Movable
baby in his
storage.
iPad.
yeah.
Yeah. He's coughing everywhere.
So that essentially
That's the main.
That's the
crux
end
that
of-
plot point.
of
Yeah.
that part of the plot point. We'll see more, I'm assuming,
I
in
liked
the next
what
patch.
this means for Zoralja's character because I think it's interesting. The other interesting thing was that like Wolkamant says that he was relatively normal until the contest to her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like more Zoralja. I feel like even within Dawntrail, when we were reviewing that, I feel he was a very interesting character with the kind of parental expectation thing that they didn't really talk about lots directly, but it was implied a lot.
I think-
I feel like he's an interesting
I
character.
think that is because they were planning to have this
Exactly. Yeah.
reveal itself to the
Yeah.
patches. Yeah.
Because I definitely think, I think Zoralja is an interesting character that unfortunately is very backloaded in terms of what makes him tick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like until his trial, really, you don't know much about why he's the way he is.
Yeah.
And it's possible that it's related to his interactions with Sorelja. We don't really know how long Sorelja was with him prior to the contest. And
Yeah.
it's also
How much did
possible
he
that
corrupt him?
it's also possible that he started to fall off the deep end when he realized his ascension to the throne was not guaranteed when the contest
Yeah.
was announced.
Yeah.
He probably thought he was always going to be the next Dawn servant
Yeah.
as the oldest.
Possible.
And the most Mamulja of them all.
Yeah.
Yes, the most Mamulja of them all.
I was bracing for like a full redemption for
I'm
this
glad they didn't
patch,
go
but
through
that
that.
did not happen.
No, I cannot imagine they could fully redeem him.
No.
But I think they can add
They can
depth
make
and
some more depth.
uncertainty within him. You know,
Yes.
maybe there was a time where he thought, maybe it could work.
He has already
there
done
could be
what
loads
he's
of
done,
stuff.
so
Yeah.
I don't think he ever thought there was a time it could work with Galuljar
Maybe
based on
not,
his
but-
first interaction with
no,
the
That's
baby.
true.
no.
But then again, it's also the whole thing of, how his father was to him. He's pushing it down. But
Yeah.
Galuljar will break the cycle. That sort of rope, which is nice to see.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. I think this was my favorite of the three.
Well, one of them
Main
is
plot points.
relatively incomplete, so I'll reserve my opinions for the last one we're going to talk about. But as of this particular patch, this is the storyline I enjoyed learning about the most.
It's fun. It's interesting lore.
Yeah. Okay. Now for the well, definitely the next part of the story. This is the Kona.
So they want the train
storyline
up and running.
Yeah,
from
gotta get the
Shaloni
train.
to Heritage Found.
Yes.
There are people in Solution 9 who they believe might want to come
Well, they've
home.
told them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They think, they want to come home. How do we get them home?
And some of them even have, but it's just very difficult for anyone that's not like able to body because there's no train.
Yeah. Can I just say before we move on, I forgot to mention this at the beginning, but like for the MSQ cutscenes, for all of the
Depth of
MSQ,
field?
there's more cinematography in general, and also
They've been working with depth of field.
they've also worked on when there's no voice acting, which is another thing we should actually talk about. But when there's no voice acting, the camera is dynamic still. Like it will show two shots, even though they're not
That's
talking.
There were times when I thought, this is a voice cutscene, and then they didn't talk. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, because normally when it's not
I feel they
voiced,
didn't
it's on
talk
rails.
early enough.
When they this is how a cutscene usually works: no voice acting, cut to shot,
Static image.
text appears, mouth yaps, and then it holds on that frame until you click next, right? But here they yap. There's like a cut to a different shot, and it can be like anything. Like it can be close up, it can be like a pan, it can be whatever, just to make some more like that's new tech. I think that they've figured out something new here. I don't think we've seen that before for unvoiced cutscenes anyway. Also,
they've done that. They did that in Hildebrand, but
oh yeah, of course.
Yeah,
I was thinking that. I'm like, this must be a Hildebrand leftover or something they tested in Hildebrand.
They've also, I don't know if it was in the 7.0, but it was probably also in Hildebrand where the camera focus, the depth of field, it'll blur the background person, and when they switch to them, it'll change the blur. Cool.
Yes. Yeah, I was very impressed just with the visuals for the MSQ this time around. Anyways, back to Kona. Yeah, they want to get the train up and running.
I thought we were going to talk about the voice acting.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, well, sorry. Let's talk about the voice acting as well.
There was an unusual lack of voice acting this
Yes. It took too long for a voice cutscene. Normally, the first cutscene is voiced, or very quickly in, at least. This time
there's not a single voice cutscene in the first quest. I was surprised by that. The Sun Perch one that Lucia was describing, I felt like should have had voice acting.
Yeah.
The first one that is actually voiced is the cutscene, the funeral for Sveen.
Yes.
Even then, it took a little. Like we met the guy who was orchestrating it for a little while before it even switched, and he started. Yeah, it was a little too long before voice kicked in for me.
Yeah,
for sure.
I was a little. There was one thing that I always think. This one thing I always think about when there's a cutscene, MSQ cutscene, and that is Graha in the cutscene? And he was in all of the cutscenes that were not voiced. He was there. Like he was in all of the unvoiced cutscenes.
He was, and there were some cutscenes that were voiced that he was there, but he didn't speak.
Right, exactly.
You can't be too big to do Graha anymore, right? You've got to still do Graha.
Well, the interesting thing for me was that, like, it's not just Graha. Alphino and Elze don't have any lines either.
Right.
In fact, I think the only regular voice actors that perform from their British studios were Erenville, Sveen, and Trial.
Yeah.
And I'm not even sure if Krile spoke, to be honest.
Yeah, did she? I don't remember.
I think she had like maybe one or two lines.
I think she did because I think she said the name of a person or location.
Okay. Yeah. No, she talked. Yeah.
Most of the people that talked were from their American studios.
No, you stole a speech, I don't think.
No.
She appeared for 3 seconds.
But yeah, I had a theory that I don't know if this is necessarily true, that like if they plan for a cutscene to be voiced, but they don't have all the lines recorded in every language. Like, for example, Graha's lines in English are not recorded because Jonathan Bailey is very busy right now promoting Wicked. So it's possible that they have the other voices recorded, and they might go back and add this later once they're able to get him to record his specific lines. Because the scene that you're particularly talking about is one that I felt like, this feels like it should have voice act.
Yeah.
Now, there's no guarantee that this will happen. It just felt like it to me.
Yeah, I agree. It was strange. It was very like I was sitting there like, are we really regressing back to like a Realm Reborn level of like voice acting amount? Because remember, they were like so proud of like, oh, there's so much voice acting. Never been this much voice acting in 14. Going to be very quiet about this patch, I think.
Dawntrail did have the most voice acting, and it's possible that, like, because they front-ended it, they're like, okay, we're going to hold back a little bit, and then we'll work a little bit on it more later.
Yeah. We'll say, we should... This is so short that it doesn't matter if we talk about it today, just in the middle here. The re-recorded voice line for the Extreme fight.
I've not even heard it.
Oh, it's so good now. Although I will say,
yes, it is.
I find the first line to be a little awkward that she says.
I've heard that.
But the Sphene part, very good. They fixed it.
Oh,
so
good job.
Yeah.
And I think that just shows that the people that were pieces of shit on like social media, like Santa Briar is a good voice actor who unfortunately probably just did not get the voice direction that she needed to properly emote for the scene.
Yeah.
Chad is also correct that I don't know if Y'Stola's lines were re-recorded or if they just remastered them, but some of her lines apparently are more clear and don't sound as much like they were filmed at her home studio.
Okay, well that's good. Okay. Anyways, now we can talk about the Kona storyline. So the train, they want to bring the train back, which made me very excited because I'm like, it's this when we're finally going to see like a train. Spoiler.
We did see it.
Well, we saw it, but I want to see it dynamically in the world, Mela. I want to see
they're going to have a dynamic train.
But Nikhil, you saw the front, the engine.
I saw the front.
Nothing else.
Which, can I also say, that train looks like a Minecraft creation. Like it is so stubby, little.
I love
weird. It's
the train where
it's
all
ugly.
the people just stand in the front because they can't be able to put coaches on the back.
Yeah.
This is also the storyline where we first see Erenville's new appearance. Since he's retired from being a gleaner.
That was my favorite.
I really liked his new design, and I like the two options. I'm surprised there's no negative option, really.
No.
Bun.
No.
I didn't.
Because there's either looking good or you get to make fun of him.
Yeah.
My favorite part about Erenville was when he first comes along. I immediately noticed the Kafkiwa thing.
I didn't.
Oh, I didn't.
And I was like, "That's cool." And then a bit later, it shows him his ass basically.
Oh.
And then if you hadn't seen it by then, she's like, "Wow, look at that, Erenville. Make sure everyone notices this because..."
That's me and Nikhil because we didn't notice it before.
Didn't notice it.
I
it was really
that she made fun of him. Well, not made fun of him, but noted it and made Erenville embarrassed.
Yeah, it's obvious he's bringing her with him. I mean, he's like such a...
Did you do this storyline at day or night, Mela? Because I did it during the day, so it might have been less visible to me.
I did it during the day too. It might have been
when he first appeared.
Oh, okay.
But by the time I got to that scene, I can't remember.
I wasn't really looking, I'm not looking, I was looking at other things.
Oh, okay. Okay, dude.
I was surprised. I'm surprised I haven't seen more fan art of this new design.
Oh, it's coming. Hurry up. Don't worry. There's going to be so much. Going by social media.
Bakul was in the patch again, so he takes...
That's also true.
That's true.
No. Okay. But the problem is that bringing back the train will cause a problem with the Ronek because
they appear to be moving away from their normal grazing
grounds,
which is odd.
Yes. So Kona is tasked with
outreach.
Yeah. If they say we can make the train silent as a mouse, but unfortunately that will just run the Ronek over otherwise because they can hear it. So how can we figure out this problem?
I want to know how the fuck they're making these silent trains.
I know. Bring it to the real world.
Yeah. So we have to go to the what are they called again? The Hetsaro?
Hetsaro, but I don't know the name of this particular tribe, unfortunately.
No.
But these guys are cool. I like this section of the map.
That section of the map is nice.
I like that we're finally addressing this part of the story that I was like, why is this weird? Why is there so much detail here?
Yeah.
And we barely touched on it during the Dawntrail MSQ.
Yeah.
We go there and we're like, we want to do this. What's going on?
I don't know if this is how I wanted it resolved.
Well, we helped them.
Kona
with a solution.
Kona just drops all this
baggage.
Yeah, he trauma dumps on on us about being abandoned.
They abandoned me.
But
I don't care for your culture, but I'll learn about it.
Yeah.
And you know what? All it took was one afternoon, and now he loves the cows.
Yeah.
This is the word. We don't have to talk about much else about this. We go through. We learn that the Ronek are super important to the Hetsaro,
which we knew,
which we already knew. But now he, I guess, realizes.
Now he knows.
Now he knows.
Which are spirit animals.
Yes.
Holy animal.
Yeah, but there is this what is the monster called? Or
it was a Ronek Reaver.
Oh, Ronek Reaver. Okay, that's what it is
in Eorzean.
In the Hetsaro tongue, Turahetsu.
Yeah. Okay.
Turahetsu.
Turahetsu. And the there is we just need to talk about. This is taking place in when I can. It's less than a day. It feels like this is what
I agree. It's too sped up, but I feel like that's the case with a lot of the game these days.
The fucking monster comes running towards Ronek, and Kona jumps in front of it. It shoots it. He shoots it once.
He literally does the thing, that meme where it's I haven't known the Hetso for I've only known the Hetso for one day, but if anything happens,
but I will die for this.
Yeah.
For this one.
Yeah,
yeah. It's.
I rolled my eyes at that one. That was too stupid. That was a step too far.
Kona sped run his development in the space of 2 quests.
Yeah.
It's very
and then the epic, he gets he literally just stands like this to stop this monster.
So anime.
Oh, spare me! And then the fucking crack.
This is a very irresponsible behavior for one of the two heads of states of a nation.
Yeah. And then the fight. Then there's a fight.
The fight was kind of fun.
Yeah. I like
it was
when
alright.
he pulled out his fucking machinist screens to
I'm analyzing.
Yeah.
It's got a crystal tit or something. I'll shoot it off.
Oh yeah, shoot it. Aim at the tits. Aim at the tits.
Yeah. No, I couldn't get it.
And that is how Kona learned to love.
He loves the
Hetso.
But also, it's also how he figured out. If this thing can drive away the Ronek without them freaking out, which apparently it doesn't cause them to freak out.
Mm-hmm.
we can do the same thing with the train.
It's basically gently nudging their primal fear enough to push them away, but not enough to scare them, which is a horrible thing.
It's also very targeted because
it
only affects the ones that are on the track directly ahead of the train.
Yes,
it has no effect on the ones probably about 10 meters away off to the side.
Mm-hmm.
I love that it came out as a beam sort of thing from the front, but train lady was like, I've got to make sure to aim it at them.
Yeah.
What are you
Yes.
aiming? It's
What are
clearly
you-
just like a thing you stuck on the front of the train.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it's nice. It was whatever.
This was
it was a bit too
the weakest of the three
It was pretty
storylines, in my humble opinion.
Well, it's not just that. Like, I mean, I'm glad that they resolved the train thing, even though it was very, very fast. There was also like the nameless fucking Hetzaro.
Oh,
that,
yeah.
Like at the end is like, oh yeah, back in the day, this is not the first time a Truro Hetzo was attacked. There was another one, and this couple, they defended everyone from it, and they said, take care of my son.
Oh, yeah,
Oh.
right.
And then I don't know what happened to the child. I assume the child died.
Yes. And then Kona's
Unless that guy knew that Kona was the child.
yeah.
It's such a weird speech. It's such a awkwardly worded speech.
Did I wonder why this was done? Like at the end of that, I'm like,
What? My parents were goodies after all?
what was this? What was this?
All of Kona's trauma has been cured in the space of an
Yay.
afternoon.
Yeah,
Right.
this was very. This
I think
felt-
they don't want Kona to be part of the story much anymore.
No,
they
that's
want to
what
get him out of the way.
I think he's done, so I hope you liked him.
Yeah, yeah. They stumbled through. They just It was very like so
Maybe
fast.
they were used in Endwalker for being able to have like a 5-patch lead up, and now they're like, oh god, no, right, we only get 3 patches to
Yeah.
resolve everything and move on. God.
So, I will say I liked the first storyline in Shiloni during the Dawntrail MSQ of
Yeah.
just
Oh, yeah, I
like,
did
the,
too.
the cowboy town.
Shiloni was
adventures.
great.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of people didn't, and I don't think this is a continued great track record for storylines in Shiloni for the
No.
overall
That's a fair
fan
point.
base.
That's fair. That's fair.
Big fan of everything other than Tintin,
Hmm.
but even he was funny.
Yeah. I just didn't
This
like.
was.
I just.
It was just a bit quick.
Yeah.
It was 2 quests long.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it deserves more than that.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. It also made it, unfortunately, because it was like sandwiched between the 2 other storylines. It definitely was the filler quests of the patch. That's what it
Yeah.
felt like.
Bit of positive, at least
It-
there
it
wasn't
was-
really any actual like political part of the patch.
That's
No,
true.
there might be a little bit next patch, but based on
That's true.
what we're about
Yes.
to talk about. But yeah, this patch, this storyline of fixing the train, which we already did in a
True.
certain way, we fixed a train during Dawntrail,
Yeah.
is the equivalent of we need to ask the people to use their tower from the end of it.
Yeah.
Endwalker.
Oh yes. Yes.
It's like we need to make sure this is still okay in the storyline.
Yeah.
Quickly wrap that up.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on from that, let's talk about what I would consider the actual main story arc, I guess. Well,
I think so.
yeah, I think this is
It'll
I mean,
probably
safe
be
to
it's
one
say.
the discussion point.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So, the funeral of Queen Sphene.
Sphene.
She's gone.
She's
But
gone.
the people remember her.
Well, we got
Which
to
is
meet her advisor that we never saw before.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I have to say, her advisor has one of the most sinister looking base designs I've ever
Oh, yeah.
seen.
Yes.
But it was warranted.
Yeah. That's
He's
true.
a sinister man.
Yeah. So that they've decided to hold some sort of ceremony because they don't know how to
Do you
deal
know
with
what's
death.
good?
It's never
They
happened
were
before.
like, what's up, Solution 9ians? In our culture, we lay
Alexandrians.
flowers at a funeral. What's it like in your world? Yo, we lay flowers too, thank God. And they're Elpis flowers, basically, or whatever they are.
Well, they're
or, no,
Well, that
Nemea
makes
Maya
sense,
lilies or whatever.
It's
Yeah.
like,
That
yeah.
makes sense because the Nemea Lily thing is something we actually. There's a side quest of us starting that tradition in Elpis.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
so it
true.
makes sense
And that's
that
why
it
it
affects
works. Yeah,
every
yeah.
shard.
And then I think Kryl says
They
or you
explain
show
it.
Says like if this is because everything was the same world,
Yeah.
which is
Can
nice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. When the funeral starts, I don't like that this fucking nobody that I don't recognize and
Yes!
looks fucking generic as fuck is
Why
the
did he
first
get to lay
person
it?
that places the flower
I was
in front of Sphinx.
infuriated.
That's true.
Yeah,
I was
like,
thinking that too.
Should this not be, I don't know, her advisor, The king.
Ghoul jar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very odd.
Imagine during the funeral of Queen Elizabeth II, and it's just some fucking
Some guy.
hobo just
from
coming
fucking
on.
urchin from Piccadilly.
Yeah. And insane behaviour. Who was he?
Yeah, I don't know.
I was so shocked at that.
But
Also, the zoom out. This is Lukia's favourite.
oh, I love it.
Don't worry, guys, because instead of
grinning
having any
when
sort
this
of
was
like
happening.
RNG technology to generate characters, they just generate 6 and just copy and paste them.
Yeah.
The camera panned out, and there were 2 of the same person, and then 2 of the next.
And I
same person.
swear, the further back you got, the less detail there were on them. So they just kept like.
Yeah. The last row was like all the same person.
I was like, oh, this is cute.
Why are you so?
And they were like lined up like stormtroopers in Star Wars. It was very strange. But hey, they tried.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
So yeah, they start putting. But I was very impressed with the lilies,
the flower laying down technology,
putting them down. That
the
technology,
animation was nice, yeah.
that technology is great.
Yeah.
Like, so
We got that from Star Citizen.
How did you feel about attending the funeral? When you were asked, do you want to attend the funeral? What did you say? I've seen a lot of people say that they picked the option that said it isn't appropriate.
I kind of agreed with that, but I think I said something, the one that's like, I'll go to support you or whatever.
I said the middle option, which is I wish there was another way.
Yeah, I think I did that too. Or maybe I picked the. I don't remember now.
Because I feel like a lot of people have forgotten that in Erinville's closing monologue for Dawntrail, they specifically said that the cover story for Sveen's death is that she died during Zeralta's attack. So it'd be weird if we didn't show up.
Yeah.
No, they don't actually think we killed her.
Mm-hmm. That's true. That's true.
None of them believe that.
But I think this is more. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Yeah.
People were telling me that I wasn't being moral.
Yeah.
I wasn't being honest to my heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I should go too.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that happened. So they start adding flowers, but the thing. Okay. The lily technology is fantastic, right? Love that for you.
It was good.
Keep going, sweetie. But I was expecting that by the end of this, because they kept going up and putting down lilies, I was expecting there to be a load of lilies at the end.
Here's what you do at the funeral. You there's a guy behind there who apparently just starts pulling them off and then throwing them back out into the crowd. Here's another thing.
In Alexandrian tradition, there is only 7 lilies ever present during a funeral. I don't know. It was just funny. I was like, okay, there's the same 3 people copy pasted in the background, and then this beautiful lily technology, but they can only show 7 at any given time.
I think the physics stopped once the model's put down.
Yes.
I don't think they're all like physics enabled. If you start running on there, they're not going to start flying.
And I was
like
actually, it was, we've played this game too much when we know how the game works. Because when the first person puts the lily, he holds it, he walks up with it. Cut to the next person. They walk up with no lily, pulls it out of their pocket, and puts it down.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh.
And then the last guy just does the handing over animation with nothing in his hand.
Just yep. There he goes. Yeah, that's so. Yeah, the ceremony.
Then some of the attendees are like, "Oh, one of the child was like, oh, I don't like this.
Why am I sad?
Someone shut that child up.
Be sad forever."
It was so annoying.
Actually, he's got a good point. We will be sad forever. Shit. God, I'd rather forget instead of being sad forever.
Well, obviously, this is
over yourself.
This is if you've never had to deal with death before, and you should actually have some compassion here, Mela, Mr. Existential Crisis. They have never had to deal with death ever, and this is the first time they learn.
It was an interesting plot point. I feel like it wasn't explored it was like a big thing, and then Wolfman's like, "Hey kid, yeah, Fucking get over yourself, all right? Pull your socks up and fuck off. And then he's like, what? She's like, actually, sorry, I didn't mean to intrude on your beliefs. Go and mourn how you want.
Have a nice day.
Have a good day. That didn't go well.
I quite like what they did with Willamette throughout most of this point. I thought quite a lot of her reactions were either funny or reasonable.
Yeah, it was quite funny.
I
hope they talk about that a bit more, but unfortunately they won't have to because they fucking just can't let a villain stay dead.
Yeah, they even talked about the hunters. Like a hunter just died.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
with a strike of lightning.
Yeah,
such a senseless way to go.
Well, someone brought up specifically death because they do have a concept of death, which is when they age and they go to like a handler or whatever they're called. Yeah,
the way I want to go is to become a decrepit old person and then disappear.
But then everyone forgets that you existed, right? So
but the thing about the decrepit old people, Mailer, is they get tended to hand and foot.
That is so true.
I wonder though, do they just get told that happens? Because surely no one.
I think it must be part of the
education
technology as well.
Well,
the replicator shit.
When someone goes to the cloud, they are deleted, right? Just if someone is killed.
Yeah, they're memories of them. But I think there'll always be old people around. They always have to know about the process of what happens with old people.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like that they painted their
Well, see,
the replicators black in memory.
I was sus the moment he said that because he said they've made new ones, and I'm like, you've made new ones, have you? Very interesting. And
it's for morning, new kid. It's like
it's for morning,
R.I.P.
Rather than a black corsage, just paint our fucking
or just
headpieces black.
Just painting your existing one black or something.
No. To be honest, I was hoping there would be black market ones where they've it's badly painted on to try and fit it. But,
to show your mourning for the death of the queen.
Yeah.
Black
I'll tell you
what
wasn't fucking respectful. The clothing they wore to the funeral.
Yeah.
That wasn't very respectful.
No, that as well.
Not black tie, was it? It was fucking neon armbands.
Expect them to dye their hair back to normal colours for the funeral.
It's disgraceful.
It was great. So we obviously there's a lot of story that happens in between that we already covered. Essentially, we can just skip to the end. So the Queen's man, whatever his title was, royal advisor. He was giving weird vibes, and he is also the one that was handing out these. Maybe he didn't hand them out, but he was at least.
They only made a certain amount. Though.
They only made.
They're trying to make more, but it's not many.
Yeah. And then. The big reveal. Sphene is back. Because they're in the middle of discussing death again because they just can't get over it. And she's like, "Hey everybody, I'm back. How are you guys doing? How are you guys doing? Hey, I know you, little boy. You're the boy, and you're his mom. And hey, and everyone's like, "Oh, Queen Sphene.
Queen Sphene, I thought she was dead."
Oh,
no, they don't say that. They don't even acknowledge that she was ever dead.
No. But there is a moment
a patch of returning villains.
Yes.
Which we will also talk about next week.
Yes.
It never feels good.
It doesn't bother me because I don't think it's her.
No, there's definitely something going on with her. For sure.
Obviously,
but it's a little annoying.
But this is the other time that I liked what Clement did when she just fucking shouted, "You're Vedra!"
Yeah.
Yeah.
She does.
He's the real villain.
Her aide or her advisor.
I know her.
Yeah, go on.
I know her aide seems suspicious, but I don't know if it's necessarily her. Him.
No, I was gonna say because when we ask where is Sphene's dead, you see his regulator starts going bing.
Yes,
and then he's even higher is controlling him.
Yeah, I think he maybe didn't know.
And then when we walk away, Sphene, for whatever reason,
she's
has a fucking sinister smirk.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
who is Sphene?
So, there is a couple of theories. I mean, there's the obviously the what are they called, the organization?
Preservation. Could be preservation.
Who's currently faceless. We don't really know much about them.
But it could be an ASEAN. The problem with it being preservation is that I don't know why they're giving out these black one, because it affected everyone that had a regulator, not just the people that had the black regulators. I don't know why they have a specific number of regulators, why they necessarily need souls at this point.
Oh yeah, because we forgot. That's the big reveal. She's like, let's turn everyone into
it's
endless.
Yeah. Because I can see why not preservation would want that. Not necessarily even an ASEAN, but someone else.
Yeah.
But I don't see why preservation would want to turn everyone into an endless.
Oh yeah, also, there's actually a lot that happens in very short amount of time. When she appears, one of the ad boards screen starts flickering.
Flickering, Silent Hill style, yeah.
So there's something going on there as well. So yeah, okay. So ASEAN is a very good guess because
we talked when the artwork was first revealed.
Yeah.
For this area, we looked in, and it was Pastor or something. I can't remember.
Yeah, we saw there was a symbol.
But there was the face, and we were like, well, ASEANs. We've also discussed it around the president of the Arcadian. Yes. I don't think they're an ASEAN anymore because I don't think they would tie that into just the side content.
No, but preservation could now be controlled by an ASEAN. I mean, there could be like a connection there as well.
There's got to be something like an ASEAN here, right? For sure.
Yeah.
Something of that type.
But why would the electronics around her do that? Like, why did that happen? That was done.
That's true.
That has to mean something. That wasn't just a random thing. They wouldn't have put it in there if it wasn't.
I don't think in any part of this thing that we're dealing with is actually Sphene, because I don't see a Sphene that would. The smile is the part that really throws me off at any beat. Like, I've seen people saying it's a recreation of Sphene, but like I don't see why a recreation of Sphene would smile sinisterly when we walk away. Yeah, that's the weird part to me.
Yeah,
the Sphene we saw in the old days was one of those mechanical robot soldier people, but made to look like Sphene, because every time she like hopped between them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But this one, I mean, we've not seen any of them around anymore. I think this maybe is, just someone in disguise. Like, if it was an ASEAN, they're just taking on her form.
That's possible. That is possible. But do ASEANs affect?
They can change their appearance.
Yeah, but the board is. I just can't. That's what is left as like a lingering thing for me, because that's supposed to be some sort of tell for us. I think about what's going on. Otherwise, I don't understand why. It's
okay, Lukiel.
Yeah.
Remember in one of the greatest scenes in the game where we were talking to Varys about ASEANs, the light flickered.
That's true, but that was a fluorescent light. They tend to do that.
No, it was a tell though, for sure.
It was you've never seen a flickering fluorescent light, and this was in a war camp in like a fucking outside.
Look, come on, you gotta give me something here.
Okay,
right?
I'll give you that. I'll give you that, Mela. That's something.
It's the only other time I can think of anything like that.
No, I'm thinking about like what could cause the flickering. Like, is she like draining? Is she like a construct that is draining power? Like, is that what's happening?
Well,
like,
they've lost so much power recently already with the shutdown of living memory.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they're just on reserves.
But then other things would flicker. I feel it only flickered when she appeared. You know, there must be something.
Is she a new?
The regular Sphene would not make that happen. So I think there's something else. There's something about her that is energy / vibe space. Text, yes.
That's something that children won't understand.
No.
Those were the days. We
We
dealt with that on the podcast.
Have we?
Yeah, you used to always have to tell people to turn their phones off.
Oh yeah, I remember. God, with the very first, like in the very early speakers days, we had to turn off our phones because he made the sound. Okay. Anyways,
maybe she's a ghost. Give us a sign, Sphene.
She could be.
Yeah.
It seems more plausible than... Well, it seems it's more fun than just being
Maybe
seen.
she's... Nikhil, maybe she's a nobody.
The Kingdom Hearts crossover, it's happening in the MSQ! Okay,
But-
now, yeah. Go on.
I don't know. There is more to this.
Mhm.
There is something happening in living memory.
That is also true. Oh God, I forgot about that.
Well,
Huge thing that happens at the end of after you've like completed the MSQ. There's a fade to black, and then a meanwhile in living memory. There is someone who wakes up and she's like, "Where am I? My people." Blah blah blah. And then you
I'm
see.
pretty sure that's...
Yeah, I'm
Fair
just.
name.
Did we?
Yeah.
Well,
Was this voiced? I can't remember.
it was voiced.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought, because I was like, I think we did hear. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Whoever's perspective we're seeing from, they speak with Sveen's voice.
Yes.
And you saw her arms or hands,
Mm-hmm.
and they were the delicate hands of a Sveen.
Okay. I haven't committed her hands to memory, so.
Shale and Yestola in the background while she's...
Yeah.
It was quite
So
funny.
Yestola and Shale went to living memory to investigate something, and Yestola's going to investigate our key next, which
Yeah.
is
At
a
some
plot
point.
we're aware of.
Yeah.
But yeah, this scene does this. Okay, so
What
this
could
is
that mean?
much more likely to be the actual scene.
Mhm.
the one in living memory
however
has somehow
she
been
exists.
purged from the system is like a memory
Hmm.
or her soul.
She is asking
Because there's the
about
thing
her
about
people.
the memory and soul split that they do.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen some people theorizing that either one of the two Sveens could be a primal. I could see this one being a primal. The people
Ooh.
of
From the because of
Solution
the funeral,
So-
their desire for her to come back.
yes.
Oh, that's good. That's a
That
good.
would be interesting.
That's a good theory.
Although, what was the ether they used to summon her?
Well, does
No
Electrope
crystals.
have any ether in it?
But loads,
Oh
actually.
God.
True.
Yeah.
Fucking loads. So,
Yeah.
and maybe that's why the power is going out because it's running out of ether because they used it to summon her.
Because she's draining. She's draining
Yeah.
ether around her. Is that what's happening? Could that be it? Oh, okay. Wheels are
something.
turning. Okay. That's interesting. That is interesting. So we think the one that woke up at the end could be real? That's
It could be the real. It could be the real Sveen, if not a primal.
okay. So you think the one who's the one in Solution 9 right now that made
Not,
that
even
board
not Sveen
flicker?
at all.
Not
I
Sveen
think that's
at
not
all.
Sveen.
Okay.
No,
And the one in living memory could be Primal Sveen.
could be primal Sveen. It could be actual Sveen, because we don't know what happened to her soul. I believe it is because
Right.
most people only their memories uploaded to living memory, but Sveen, it was both soul and memory.
But also, I mean, at the end of the day, we turned it off, but we didn't purge it. So everyone should
No.
still be in there.
That's true.
They're just not activated. So it wouldn't be hard for someone to get her out.
That's interesting.
Well, I don't know if anyone got her out because it feels like no one's around to help her. I feel like if
Well,
someone
true.
actively sought to acquire Sveen,
Well, something
Sveen's
strange is
memory.
going on, though.
there,
Something strange
Well,
is going
yeah.
on.
there could also be like
There's some agent.
we don't necessarily know how living memory worked like fully like inside. So is there a chance that the real Sphene was somehow like inside of the machine and that she's
Well, that's
been
very
ejected?
morbid.
It is very morbid, but
Oh, like what they did with Varys.
yeah,
but in one part, I hope.
yeah,
Yeah.
in one piece.
Or well, maybe we only saw her hands.
We only saw her hands. That's true.
Well,
It could just be a
I
pair of
would
floating hands, Georg.
I would suspect Shale and Stoller would react with more concern if they encountered some floating hands while exploring living memory.
You should have seen everything.
That's true. That's true.
Well, not anymore.
No, that's true. But that's interesting that you say that because she saw that. So there is ether. She can see her.
That's
Yes.
true.
So that's a clue.
That is a clue.
Not that it's very helpful, but it's something that has ether, or at least ether dense enough for Yestola to see it.
The closing line of this expansion was, "In fear of death, the people turned to Queen Reborn, their fate to learn." So clearly the black replicator lottery thing, they're going to get killed to fuel.
Yeah, I've
That
seen
is
some people.
what it seems
Yeah,
like.
I've seen some people saying that the black replicators or regulators are the ones that will be sacrificed, and their memory will not get to go to the living memory.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then there's going to be a villain that appears in next patch, and we'll kill it in 7.3.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, it is interesting,
Probably.
actually, with the Y'shtola seeing it. If she was a primal, would she not see it? Did they not have a different ether composition?
She would see it, but like she might not respond any differently to it.
That's true. Yeah, I guess so. Maybe.
She didn't. She didn't really say much. She said we're going to look at living memory and look at your key in a bit.
Yes.
She didn't tell us anything about her findings or anything really so far.
No. Well, no. And Sven appeared obviously after. So
Yeah.
we'll have to wait 6 months for.
Meanwhile, Thancred and Rayanja are off on their Turali honeymoon.
Oh, yes.
No explanation beyond that.
True. True.
And the Stinians disappeared.
Yes. Okay, now we have to wait a very long time for the continuation of this.
Y'shtola and Shale are going to stay in living memory for the next 4 months.
Yes.
That's good though.
Yeah, gives us some stuff to theorize for
we can theorize
a few months.
for this, but I think we're going to get some pretty good answers in 7.2.
Yes,
and then we can start theorizing what the sort of the seeds of this next big arc are.
Yeah, we have to pray that
7.3
is the pivot patch, so like it should be.
It probably is. I think they've said that's like their plan.
Yeah. We haven't talked about it. There was the focus on Sven's crown towards the end of Dawntrail as well, once she disappeared. So that might be related in some way to either of the two Svens that exist right now.
Mm-hmm. True.
Oh, they're not going to usurp Gululjar, are they? Like weeks into
Well,
his reign?
that's another interesting, because we were expecting a political patch. This didn't turn out to be that at all, but it probably will be next time, because he is technically still the ruler, right?
He's the king.
He has been pronounced king, so he has.
But now there's going to be some.
Will there be like
what's
a
the actual term? It's the something of resolve that he is.
The vow.
No, they don't call them vows, do they? I don't remember exactly what they call them in Alexandria.
Oh yeah, no, they call them. Oh shit. Is it just king? Is it literally just king?
King of Resolve. So he's the king of Resolve, and she's the queen of reason.
Yeah, queen of reason, king of resolve. Yeah. Also, he's just taken. Right, so they don't necessarily have to be a conflict.
She can slot back into her position.
They are co-rulers. So
I'm surprised that there weren't any assassination attempts on him this patch.
Yeah, I guess
Who could
little baby,
little blueberry boy.
Okay, well, we'll see what happens. We have plenty of time to theorize about what happens next in future episodes. Okay, well, that's it for today, everybody. Thanks for watching. We'll be back next week, same time, same place. Remember to follow on Twitter at SpeakersXIV, twitch.tv/SpeakersXIV, youtube.com/SpeakersXIV. Exclamation Discord in chat if you want to join our Discord server, and if you're watching on demand, links in the description. Send us MogMail, speakersXIV.com/MogMail, and if you're watching live, the post show's coming up, so make sure you catch that. It'll be a short post show, but we don't have that much to do, so it's fine. See you there. Bye.
Bye.